everybody. It's the end of day one, and we're kind of here to wrap up what we talked about today a little bit. Um, Bring forward any kind of lingering questions. If you have something that you want to talk about, or want us to talk about, I should say, definitely throw it in the Discord, and we can check that out. But yeah, it's good to be here. And uh, before before I just talked a lot last session, and I'm feeling pretty self conscious about it. So like, before I go into some of the things that I noticed, Pilot and Amanda, the things that you wanted to kind of touch on, wrapping up the day here.
Amanda? I don't want you to feel self-conscious at all, Taylor. It was a great presentation. I loved it. I got a lot from it. And I was realizing in the moment I should have been putting a lot more of my thoughts right into Discord as I was writing them down for myself. So that was my bad. But it's been a jam-packed day, and I hope that people have been able to kind of see the balance we've been trying to provide between the technology, which you definitely got a lot of today with these sessions, but then also the why and how that why can be different for so many people. And so I think it's been great. Pilot, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, I was just going to say that I really enjoyed getting to hear your two thoughts on domains and how people think about it and how you help guide people to put more thought into it. What it can mean to people, what they're maybe not aware of and they maybe should be. I thought that was really interesting, and it was a really good way to wrap up some of the things that we'd been talking about before of how everything works together, just culminating together in why we have these systems, why we have domain of one's own in order to make these things possible for people. So
Yeah, I kind of fundamentally believe, and sort of thinking about that with you saying the way you just summarized that, the two of you actually, I kind of fundamentally believe that if you want to represent yourself online, that this is the way to do it, right? Obviously, I would believe that. I work here, but I've felt that way a long time, and I think once you get a broader picture of like what the tools are, what's available to you, and then what you can do with that, I think that picture makes a lot more sense in that context, right? So that's why I believe so strongly in leading with the why you may want to do it this way, because I really do think that most people, having understood that, will say, yeah, I should do it on this platform because then I have more control over it and I have more agency. So it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal to a lot of us that work at Reclaim too, and I think it's a big deal to a lot of admins and folks who use the tools. So it's cool to see. Yeah, so I wanted to kind of look a little bit and look at the sessions today that we just did, and kind of look at the display site really quick to kind of point out some resources that are in there. And I kind of did this earlier, but I'm gonna do it again. Sorry, and I accidentally just stopped my screen share, even though I meant to keep it up. All right, so the so a couple things I wanted to point out here. So going all the way back up to the touching base and system refresh session, and there's a few things in here that in the additional reading section, we've got this virtual tour of Domain of One's Own. This is a super great resource that we've had for a little while now, and is in some ways similar in what it's going to cover to what this session did, but I think is a great additional perspective. And also, if you're looking to send someone who wants like a deep technical understanding of how these systems work, but doesn't have time for you to show them or time to attend this workshop, this would probably be a really good way to show them, here's what the WordPress front end is, here's what WHMCS is, here's WHM. So keep that in mind. It's a really great resource. There's also, of course, a bunch of other resources in here. There's links to our knowledge base, and the technical overview article, which is in some ways very similar to the video in as far as what it covers. So really good resource. And I don't like, this is one thing I don't like about our knowledge base, is that it like ruins your browser's back button. Anyway, with the WordPress domains portal, this one in here, these are all really good. If you're looking at this recording later or that recording later, and you want to go deeper into any of these things, absolutely check this out. This is a gold mine of resources. And of course, all of these sessions have different links in here. So do not sleep on the additional reading in any of these. But those were kind of two that I wanted to specifically point out. Looking ahead to tomorrow. So tomorrow we start at 11 Eastern again. We're going to have a troubleshooting tips section that Amanda and I are going to kind of go through and talk about like common things that you'll probably see people break in WordPress and how you can bail them out of those situations. And also other tools you have available to help people with other things that may break in cPanel or that they may want to undo with backups and stuff like that. Pilot and I have a session on long-term management, and we're going to specifically go into a lot about account cleanup and not just what's available to you. I think in the session description literally says what tools and strategies, but I think kind of highlighting these things early, if you happen to be someone who hasn't had domains very long, I think it is good to start thinking about this stuff early because it becomes stressful and more difficult when you're like, all right, we need to retire accounts. We need to do it next week or next month or whatever. And we have no idea what we can do. So I'm looking forward to that session. And even if you're not new, of course, it's good to hear about what's available and what can maybe make your life easier. Pilot, you're going to say something?
No, I just said, yeah. And then some cars started going loudly past my house. So muted.
We'll have some dedicated Q&A time, just a little bit to kind of cover questions, especially with these sessions before it. There may be some specifics or other situations people want to cover, so we wanted to build in some time for that. And then we'll talk about splots and site templates, how you can make your own site templates, what splots are, what they're good for. I'm excited about that one too. And then our Beyond Domains No Lampshade session that Jim and I are going to do on other things that we haven't really talked about, and frankly, we don't talk about very much, on what else can you do with domain in one's own that maybe isn't the traditional WordPress setups and things like that. Yeah, so that's kind of a look ahead.
Yeah, you'll notice a lot of the sessions for tomorrow were maybe alluded to today, or maybe came up a little bit. I know that Taylor, you and I mentioned the long-term management session just very briefly in our WHM, maybe WHMCS session. Amanda, you and I were talking about templates. Taylor and I also did that, and so that'll be part of the Splots conversation. So tomorrow is really meant to be like, all right, well, we've gone through the technical review. You've seen sort of how it works. Let's get into how you use it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it was covered in Discord here, but the question was asked, do admins have the ability to easily view and log into a user's WordPress admin site? And I just wanted to take the opportunity, we're almost out of time here, but to just kind of showcase that. So I'm just getting logged into things here. And on StateU, and I can kind of I think it's good to have this on screen too. So I'm logged into StateU here, and just wanted to showcase that if you log in as an admin and then go to the users panel, and you search for a user and hover over any of them, you'll have this switch to button, and that's what Pilot was talking about. This is kind of funny because I have like all three of my email addresses in here. I've used StateU a couple times, it turns out. I don't think I actually have any active accounts on StateU, but even if I don't at this very moment, just showing that when you do that switch to button, it is truly their experience. So not only can you get into their cPanel and use like the My Apps section to log into WordPress the way they could, if they're having an issue with like account sign up, this is also an interesting thing that I mean you shouldn't see this very often, and if you do, let us know, we can help you. But this is a real good way to see exactly what they're seeing. See, maybe someone's saying I can't sign up for an account, and they're doing something like this, like they're putting for their subdomain, they're asking for test Taylor website.org and they're like, it's not working. It's like, well, that's actually a subdomain. It needs to come before stateu.org. So you can't have that. And you need to do Taylor website instead, right? So all of that is a really good thing to see exactly what their experience is as well. So I think it's worth demoing. Yeah. Before we sign off for the day and let everyone go, is there anything else that folks have? Okay. No? All right.
We just had something from Meng in the chat, but I think that's more something to look at after.
Yeah, Meng, we can look at your particular thing. It's possible that your login doesn't have the right credential or something, so we'll look at that. And we'll message you about it.
Yeah.
But excited to see you all tomorrow. It's been a good day one.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.